Sebastian from Simple Plan joins me. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very, very well. You know what? We'll bring it up. You're right there in the kitchen. What a setup for the coffee in the background.
Thank you. I'm quite an amateur. I'm known as the coffee snob in the band. I don't think I'm that intense, but I do prefer when the coffee tastes delicious than when it tastes very ordinary.
Okay, fair enough. It does look like that machine behind you is like the 4000 or something, whatever it is, the coffee maker 4000 or something.
Probably, yeah, one step above the 2000 for sure.
Oh, absolutely, of course. Okay, so we got to talk about the documentary. This is out now. It's available on Amazon Prime. It's called Kids in the Crowd, and just the story of Simple Plan going all the way back. It must have been a trip putting this thing together and looking back at those videos and the old shows and that sort of thing.
It sure was. I mean, how lucky are we that we had a best friend touring with us with a video camera that captured all those archives? I mean, I don't like nowadays it's normal. Everybody's got a phone with a camera. Back then, like I don't have any footage of me at like 10 until I actually don't have
Yeah.
any footage of me until I joined the band, you know? So it was pretty crazy. And the director and the production company in Montreal that worked on this film, they went through thousands of hours of footage in the archives to narrow it down to 400 hours that they thought was great. And then it's a 90-minute movie, you know? So, I
I
mean,
know.
it's quite remarkable and how you want to tell that story and how much new stuff versus old stuff. I mean, it was a trip.
That's the thing too, is like the tone of the whole thing sort of reveals itself with all these clips as well. And there's so many different ways you can tell the story of Simple Plan. So the idea that they were able to narrow it down like that is absolutely phenomenal. I was thinking of you guys last night because I was at Budweiser Stage here
Mm.
in Toronto. And I thought back to 2002. This is long before my radio career. I was a teenager working at McDonald's, spending my paycheck to go see you guys play alongside like Sum 41 and Jimmy Eat World and Blink 182 and Newfound Glory. It was like a huge, huge show. And it does seem like that was a little bit of a turning point all the way back in 2002 for you guys, that show specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was that Edge Fest, right? I think
It
that's what
was.
that
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
It was a very important show for us, not because like we blew up or we gained fans or anything, but we did spend a lot of time in Toronto because we were recording our first album there, and we were passing around demos that we had made prior. And then I believe it was that show at Edge Fest when we're playing this song called "The Worst Day Ever" that ended up making it to the first album. And for some reason, we get to the very soft part before the last chorus, and Pierre stops singing, and the crowd is singing the lyrics back to us. We're like, this was the first time it had happened in Simple Plan that, you know, a big crowd knew our lyrics. We're just like, holy crap, this is connecting with people. This is awesome. And then we finished the song, and like after the show, like, did you hear? Did you hear him? You know, and then we went into the crowd to do a little signing after, and we had a few hundred people there that wanted to meet us, which was absolutely amazing. But to us, it was kind of just like, okay, this could work. This could work, you know?
That's such great affirmation. I was one of those kids. I got to be honest with you. I was in there
Amazing.
getting the autograph, the whole thing. But yeah, like, do you write these songs? This is, I mean, it's true for every band, every artist, but you write these songs like in your bedroom or something, and then you hope that they make sense to other people. And not only did they connect that day, but for now a couple of decades to the point where like you guys are playing these big Avril Lavigne shows and stuff. And it's not just people remembering when they were a teenager like me going to see you. Younger faces are out there too, because these songs have connected with multiple generations because it's stuff that, is always universally true. Like some days suck.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, I'm just a kid specifically had a resurgence in recent years through social media. And that song now has a whole, I would say, not different meaning, but a whole deeper meaning than it did back then. Like, obviously, when you're a teenager and you're going through a hard time, you feel like you're alone and nobody's really paying attention to you and you're struggling by yourself. And then, but those issues are very often like quite singular. They're like teenager issues. But when you get into adulthood, then there's layers to, you got to provide, you got rent to pay, you've got responsibilities in life, finding a job and like making sure you're not disappointing the people around you if you're part of a team. And like, there's all these things that sort of start stacking up. So that song kind of took on a whole new meaning. And when you're writing, I mean, Perfect is probably the most personal and specific song we ever wrote. It's about quitting school and joining a band and sort of being afraid that your parents won't approve. That's what that song is about. But it connected with so many people around the world that have just struggled with not disappointing their own parents. And that
Yeah.
was almost a surprise to us that it did. It's the last song on the album. It's kind of a ballad. It was, like we loved the song, but it was not a song that we wanted to showcase when we were coming out. We're just like, yeah, we're a fast punk band, and we put all the singles with the fast songs, which is, that's music for you.
Yeah, it's amazing, and you get to see people singing along in those videos, and then the TikTok resurgence, like you say, with "I'm Just a Kid." It's just what a wild, different way that is to consume music, isn't it? With social media and stuff now, like, could you have imagined 20 years ago? Like, crazy where we're at.
I can't imagine. And I have a 10-year-old daughter, and sometimes she starts singing songs. She's like, I don't know what it's called, but I heard it in a YouTube Minecraft video and it goes like this, blah, blah, blah. And then we look for the song and then we're like, oh, this artist is awesome. And then we get into it together. But like you could, no matter how you discover music, I'm into people that just enjoy listening to music.
Yeah. And you got to earn your spot. Like Fat Mike said about you guys in the documentary. He's like, there's nothing given. You got to earn a spot here. And by the end of the documentary, we've heard from Avril Lavigne and Blink-182 and The Offspring and Sugar Ray and all these other great artists that are like, yeah, we love Simple Plan, and they earned their spot. Do you guys feel like you built that credibility within the punk scene that you were worried about not being able to sort of curate early on?
Oh, geez, that's a good question. I don't know that we did. I think that longevity just have people, yeah, maybe longevity has that effect then. Like I think that if well, especially back then, I'm not too sure how hardcore ideology punks nowadays feel about us, but I know that back then we were a little bit too pop, but by the time we played Warped Tour for the third or fourth year in a row, you had Rancid wearing Simple Plan shirts, and that's all the validation I've ever needed. It's just like if they like us, if they're okay with us being here, then that's kind of like that stamp of approval. But I think all those, because I mean, when I was growing up, if I listened to punk rock, I was not allowing myself to listen or enjoy anything else, and that's sort of what that scene was. For a movement that's supposed to be anti-rules, it had a lot of constraints, and nowadays you can listen to Bruno Mars and hip hop and punk rock and whatever. Like it all works as long as there's good music and there's bad music according to you, and that's just what matters.
There's music you like and music you don't. Those are the only two boxes that exist, right? And I think it's part of the charm of you guys as well, and it's a very Canadian thing that we all sort of do here, where it's like even your tour is called Bigger Than You Think, which is kind of self-deprecating in a way, where it's like, yeah, you guys are a huge band, but we got to remind everyone we're bigger than you think.
It's, I mean, we've always liked that play on words that could perhaps relate to your crotch or not, and it's just kind of always what we've done ever since the first album. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of, that's actually, you know what, I'm realizing now as we're talking that it's definitely still that same chip on our shoulders where we're still trying to prove something. We're still like, hey, please pay attention to this because some special's happening, and it is actually like Simple Plan right now, touring wise, is bigger than we've ever been. The shows keep growing, the fans keep coming. We're seeing so much love, and it's a good time.
Well, we can't wait to see you again. And obviously the documentary available now. It's called Simple Plan, Kids in the Crowd. It's on Amazon Prime. Highly recommend you check it out. Hear from some of our favorite rock stars talking about one of our favorite Canadian bands. Sebastian, thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me.
And thank you very much for having me.